What it do, basketball fans? It's your boy Mo Hoops. And real quick, I want to talk about this conversation that's being had lately about, you know, the NBA product and how it's not the same and how, quote unquote, the ratings are going down and everything like that and how the game is being covered and those types of things. So it started about a week ago where LeBron James said that he understands why Anthony Edwards doesn't want to be the face of the league because all the guys on TV who cover the game, all they do is shit on the game and talk down on players and everything like that. For one, I agree with LeBron. I think that's very valid. But if you look at some of these TV networks, and I'm speaking about ESPN specifically, and you look at how they cover the game, for one thing, when you watch SportsCenter, they show a 15-second tidbit of the game. They don't even show full game highlights. So I think that's a problem because it doesn't give the full context of the game and what actually happened. So that's number one for me. And then, when you look at shows like First Take, for example, Charles Barkley made a great point earlier tonight, at the beginning of the show for the games on TNT tonight where he said, he didn't say ESPN specifically, but we all know he's talking about ESPN when he says all they do is talk about the Lakers and Warriors every day. They're not covering teams who are doing good things in the league. For example, Cleveland, who's currently on a 12-game winning streak, and this is their third double-digit winning streak of the season. Oklahoma City Thunder, who is the best team in the league, who has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's probably going to win MVP this year. They're not covering these teams, and they focus too much on the Lakers and the Warriors, which I believe is true. Now, I get it. The Lakers have moved up to the number 2 seed in the West. They got Luka Doncic, obviously. So, of course they're newsworthy. I'm not saying that they aren't. But when you look at a lot of the other things that are going on around the league, other players who are up and coming, who are doing great things for their team and for themselves and getting better, ESPN is not covering these teams, which, in my opinion, it makes it seem like as if nothing is being done in the NBA. So I think ESPN and other networks too, they need to do a better job of covering the game, actually analyzing games, giving breakdown of games. You have certain guys on these networks who do a good job of that. For example, like Tim Legler, he's a good one. I like Richard Jefferson. I don't mind, listening to him. I like Chiney Ogwumike on ESPN. I like Candace Parker for Turner Sports. There's a lot of people out there who are covering the game, who actually break down the game and talk about the nuances of the game. But when you look at this big platform like ESPN, the coverage to me is terrible, man. It's really terrible. There's no real breakdown. There's no real analysis of the game. There's no real film being broken down. There's no real highlights being shown. So I think that's a major problem when you're talking about the impact that has on quote unquote casual fans who, the NBA wants casual fans' views and money. So I get it. They have to do and say things to draw those people in, But if you're a real hoop head like I am, I want real game breakdowns, man. I want to talk about X's and O's, not just, oh, he played like shit tonight. Obviously, somebody didn't shoot the ball well, but that doesn't always mean they're playing like shit. Like, we need to stop that narrative that just because a player has a bad shooting night means they aren't impacting the game in some sort of way. And I think, these companies need to do a better job of making that known. Like, what's the point of hiring ex-NBA players if said ex-NBA players aren't going to give you real analysis of the game? These are the people who played the game for X amount of years. They supposedly know the game. They had successful careers, and they're not giving you the breakdown. They're just feeding into, the social media trends and, trying to sound cool and be funny and get the laughs and get the clicks. And I understand that's the world we live in with the internet and, things like that. I get that. But real hoop fans want breakdowns of the games. Make ESPN great again. Let's do it.